My name is Zach Howarth. Today we're going to be looking at the relationship between Southern Indian classical music and Black American music. Specifically, we're going to be taking a small portion of Carnatic music, the sort of complex rhythmic tendencies, and applying them on the drum set in a jazz and beyond context. Part one is going to be sort of a basic explanation and exploration of Konnakol, sort of the rhythmic language of Solkatu, Carnatic music, how to speak rhythms with different specific syllables and different kind of patterns for clapping and keeping time. We're also going to be looking at very basic additive rhythms and sort of how to conceptualize those. Part two is going to be a deeper study of additive rhythms and how to use them soloistically, and taking combinations like 5, 6, 7, and 7, 8, 9 groupings in different subdivisions, eighth notes, triplets, 16th notes, and the tuplets themselves. Part three is going to be Tihais, this sort of specific repeated pattern or idea that is used to end phrases and forms in Carnatic music sometimes. And we're going to look specifically at the jazz drummer version of a Tihai, which is tagging an idea, something that jazz drummers have been doing for decades, even though they don't call it a Tihai. It is essentially the same idea, and we'll look at examples of that and how to put it into practice. And then the last part is going to be an etude that I wrote about additive and subtractive rhythms, sort of putting everything into a comprehensive idea. So let's get into it. Carnatic music is a family of Southern Indian classical music. It is one of two major groups of classical music found in India, the other being from the northern regions of India called Hindustani music. Now, Carnatic and Hindustani music are world's entire structures, major philosophies and cultures of music that encompass singing and dancing and mysticism and spirituality and plenty of other things. For our purposes, we'll be focusing on the more rhythmic aspects of Carnatic music. It is derived from the Samavada, which is an ancient Hindu text, and Carnatic music differs often from the Hindustani music, the Northern Indian classical, in that it emphasizes more complex form, structure, and composition. Hindustani music often has slightly simpler forms to allow more vamping and improvisation through that route, and Carnatic music has a lot of improvisation, but it tends to be through very difficult long repeated or through composed forms and compositions. And the use of something like a Tihai is where that comes in handy with these long forms that are kind of difficult to keep track of. Konnakol is the word associated with the percussive syllables used in Carnatic music. These are syllables that can vary a little bit by region, by parts of India, but generally they are spoken while keeping the tala, which is the time or the pulse, in one's hand. You'll see somebody clapping and speaking syllables, that is Konnakol. The pronunciations that we will be using, found from Jacob Adler's Wheels Within Wheels book, are ta, as in talk, ki, as in a key, te, as in ten, di, as in deep, mi, as in meat, dim, as in dip, ke, as in cut, gi, as in geese, na, as in nachos, and ton, as in tone. Let's take a look at a couple of basic additive rhythmic concepts. We're going to read the one above us in half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes. We're going to start by just clapping every quarter note and counting them like one and, one eanda, that system. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 eanda, 2 eanda, 3 eanda, 4 eanda, 1. Not bad, right? Now we're going to use the Konnakol syllables instead. Keep clapping quarter notes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ki, ta, ki, di, mi. Taki, di, mi, taki, di, mi. Taki, di, mi, takajeno. Taki, di, mi, takajeno. Ta. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're going to add the specific counting and clapping pattern that's used sometimes in Solkatu, in Carnatic music, with the Konnakol. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do this twice with the clapping and the Konnakol. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ki, ta, ki, di, mi. Taki, di, mi, taki, di, mi, taka, di, mi, taka, geno. Taka, di, mi, taka, geno. Ta, ki, ta, ki, di, mi. Taki, di, mi, taki, di, mi, taka, di, mi, taka, geno. Taka, di, mi, taka, geno. Ta. Okay, now we're going to put this on the snare drum. So we're going to play the rhythm twice, and we're still going to use Konnakol syllables, but we're going to be playing it on the snare now. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the last thing we can do with this is we can add the feet as an extra coordination exercise to sort of substitute for the clapping that we were doing. So, have the bass drum feather all 4 beats, have the hi-hat play on 2 and 4, and play the same rhythm twice while speaking Konnakol. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now let's take a look at the triplet version of that additive concept. So we did half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes. Now we're going to do half note triplets, quarter note triplets, eighth note triplets, and 16th note triplets. We're going to start by playing it twice on the snare. Then we're going to play it 2 more times, adding in the bass drum, feathered on all 4 beats, and the hi-hat on 2 and 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now the last thing we can do is take that first additive rhythmic concept, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes, and start to orchestrate them around the drum set. So every measure, we're going to change heads. So half note, quarter note, eighth note, 16th note. I'm going to do it once by itself, and then once while kind of keeping time, almost like you were trading 4s and you wanted to kind of keep the ride cymbal going while you play, right? So we're going to do 1 of each. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool enough, right? Now let's add that ride cymbal in. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to change drum heads every note. So it's going to be half note, quarter, 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 quarter. You get the idea, right? So we're going to do this one a couple times in a row. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Super cool idea, using basic additive rhythms, half, quarter, eighth, and 16th, just orchestrated around the drum set, and only on 3 surfaces. And if you want to get more complex, you can start adding metric stuff that I was doing with my feet at the end there, but even just, that's super cool. And you can do any surface, right? You can do anything you want with it. But that's just a couple ideas with one basic additive rhythmic context. So let's start looking at more complex additive ideas. We're going to start with 5, 6, and 7 groupings. On eighth notes, triplets, 16th notes, and tuplets. A quintuplet, sextuplet, and a septuplet, right? Start with the eighth notes. We're just going to play eighth notes, just a grid of eighth notes. but we're going to land accents down to delineate a grouping of 5, a grouping of 6, and a grouping of 7, okay? So for each one of these, we're going to start by playing it slow and counting out the accents together. Then we're going to bring it up to speed, and then we're going to orchestrate it around the drum set a couple times just to give you an idea, okay? So the first one, eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you just end the measure right there, right? So it's a 3-bar idea. It ends on the and of 1 of the third measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. So you have 3 eighth notes and 2 beats to do whatever you want after that. But the grouping starts 5, 6, 7, and ends on the end of 1, measure 3. So let's bring it up a little faster so you can kind of hear it in context. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? A little faster. 1, 2, 3. Right? You add something in the first measure, and then the last 3 measures are the eighth note idea. And you've got a 4-bar phrase. Okay? Now let's orchestrate it around the drum set a little bit. So, same idea. I'm going to play 4 bars of time, 1 measure of something, and then the idea in the eighth notes. 1, 2, 3. So that gives you an idea of what to do, right? You can play around with this idea at many speeds. You can play it super slow. Right? You can play it really fast. Any tempo, any context, it works out okay. So now we're going to play it in triplets, okay? Same idea, 5, 6, and 7 in groupings in the triplets. This is going to be 2 bars, and it's going to leave us with 2 beats at the end. So it's going to be 2-bar idea. We have beats 3 and 4 after it to play with. So this is what it sounds like slowed down, okay? 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, and 7 in triplets. Now let's do it a little bit faster, still on the snare drum. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm going to do what I did with the eighth notes, which is play 4 bars of time and lead into the phrase. Since this is a 2-bar phrase, I'm going to play 4 bars of time, 2 bars of solo something, and then play the idea. First on the snare drum, then when I play it a second time, I'll orchestrate it around the kit. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's a really fun idea, and it sort of is a foothold in the door to crazy ideas, because once you play groupings of 5, 6, and 7 into triplets, you can do any combination of ideas, right? You can play whatever numbers you want added. If you could do 4, 6, and 8, you could do 3, 5, and 7, you could do 2, 3, 4 to keep it kind of simple. That idea, right? Just playing in triplet form, and it really gives you this fun kind of flow state. So next up is 16th notes. I think this is a really fun one, this subdivision specifically. We're going to play it slow with the accent. Then we're going to bring it in up to speed and kind of in context with some sort of pattern or beat, and then we're going to kind of solo with it. So this one is only 2 bars long like the triplets, but because it's an even quicker subdivision, an even smaller subdivision, right? We've squeezed this idea from most of 3 bars to a measure and a quarter. So now it's going to take up 1 whole measure and 1 beat. We're going to end the phrase on the second beat of the second measure. It's a very quick idea, but it's very fun. So let's play it slow together. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And then 3 beats, right? To play after it. Let's do it again. 1, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Yeah? So, now let's play it a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to bring this up to context. I'm going to play 4 bars of time, kind of in a funk feel, and then 4 bars of soloing. It's going to be 2 bars of something, and then it's going to lead into this idea. So, just like the other ones. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're getting to the last one of the 5, 6, 7 combination, the tuplets. We're going to be playing a quintuplet, a sextuplet, which is just 2 triplets, and a septuplet. This is definitely the hardest one. This is definitely the one that might be the most alien, or the one with the highest difficulty spike, right, compared to 8th notes, triplets, and 16th notes. So it's a 2-bar phrase that takes up the first measure and the first 2 beats of the second measure. So we've got beats 3 and 4 after that. So this is what it sounds like on the snare. I'll play it a couple times, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you notice how it quite literally speeds up, but it also gives this feeling of like, ooh, where are we going, right? That's the joy of these kind of tuplet ideas, right? So let's do it again. We're going to play it on the snare a couple times, and then we're going to play it around the kit. And then we will do it in context with time and soloing. But this one requires a little bit more care and attention. So let's do it 2 more times on the snare, and then 2 more times orchestrated around the drum kit. You do what you want with that. Then we'll stop and we'll play it in time and kind of as a soloistic idea. So 1, 2, 3. Let's play it in time. So I'm going to play 4 bars of time, 2 bars of something, and then lead up into the 5, 6, 7 idea, okay? And then we'll have 2 beats at the end of the phrase to line up for the next, 4 bars, right? Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. gives you this really fun kind of push and pull idea. You can orchestrate it where you're playing, this direction, kind of these partings on the drum set. You can play it where you're kind of playing in like a circle. You can think of it as just two surfaces, like 1, 2, 3. Right? You can think of it as the unison thing, the kind of Swiss triplet thing, right? 1, 2, 3. Right? You can do whatever you want with it. This one takes a lot of time, but it's really worth the effort. And I think most importantly, this is where we start to get into the ideas of some of these Carnatic rhythms. The additive rhythm sometimes is played as, 16th notes with the accents in there, but a lot of times it's also just played as a quintuplet, a sextuplet, and a septuplet. So being able to, if not master, at least understand these rhythms is super important. Now to wrap up part 2 here, we're going to play one more set of additive rhythms, a bigger set of numbers. We're going to play 7, 8, and a 9. This is going to equal 24 beats, and it's going to give us more of the measure to play with orchestration-wise. It's going to take up more of the measure. And we're going to play it the same way we did 5, 6, and 7. We're going to do eighth notes, triplets, sixteenths, and tuplets. So this one's really tricky. If you think about starting on a 7, it means that your 8 and your 9 are going to be kind of offset in a strange way. So our 8s are going to be pretty much always on the offbeat or the E or the kind of a strange place, and usually in our left hand. So let's start with that eighth note. Slow and count it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See what I mean? That left hand is really doing a lot of work with those 8 accents, but it makes it really fun when you get into the orchestrations and the faster, shorter subdivisions, okay? One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? Now let's bring it up a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, let's play it in time. I'm going to do 4 bars of time, 4 bars of soloing. This eighth note idea brings up 3 bars of R4. So 4 bars of time, 1 measure of something to set it up, play it on the snare drum, do it one more time, and then the second time we'll orchestrate it around the drum kit. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now let's move on to triplets. Same exact formula. We're going to play it slow, count it out. We're going to bring it up to tempo, play it in time on the snare, play it in time orchestrated, right? Same exact thing. Let's start slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's really tricky to count and play in the triplet form. And it's also just, this one is probably one of the more difficult ones to do, but it's so cool once you get it orchestrated. Let's play it a little bit faster so you can kind of hear the 7, 8, and 9 in context. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's play it up at tempo. 4 bars time, 4 bars with the snare, 4 bars time, 4 bars orchestrated, right? 1, 2, 3. So this one is so fun when you get that accent in the 8. And then that 9 is pretty straight ahead. It's just on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 there, right? It's really getting the 7 and the 8 to line up, and then once you get to the 9, you're perfectly fine. All right, let's do the 16th notes. So this one is really fun because it gives us 2 beats at the end to play with, kind of like in the 5, 6, and 7. It takes up only a measure and a half or so. Up to this point, the 8th note and the triplet versions of 7, 8, 9 have taken up 2 or 3 whole measures, right? So it's a good way to start or end a phrase, but there's not a whole lot you can do in between if you're sticking to the idea, right? So now we're going to play this one slow, count it out, and we've got those 2 beats at the end. Then we'll bring it up and then orchestrate it, okay? 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4. Right? Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, and 4, and 1. See what I mean? Okay. Now let's play it a little faster. 1, 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Right? Super fun. Okay, now let's put it in context. Let's play a little bit of kind of cold sweat kind of sound. We're going to play 4 bars, 2 bars of something, 2 bars on the snare. 4 bars time, 2 bars of something, 2 bars orchestrated. Here we go. And 1, 2. Okay, so now the tuplets. Again, I would say the most fun one personally for me. Definitely more in line with some of the Carnatic rhythms you're going to find in Carnatic music in Tolkatu when you're counting and singing. 8th notes, 16th notes, triplets happen all the time, but also being able to play a septuplet or 9s or 5s or whatever, very important. So this one isn't quite as bad because if you've gotten to this one, that means you've practiced the septuplet from the first one, I assume. The 8th lit is 2 16th notes, or 2 sets of 16th notes, excuse me, right? 8 16th notes total. And the 9 lit is common enough if you have studied like Elvin Jones and that kind of stuff. If you've studied that kind of particular era of jazz that's really triplet heavy, excuse me, those specific drummers. Elvin does this a lot, and we're going to look at this more in part 3 when we look at Tihais. One of our Tihais in the jazz world is a 9 lit that he plays, okay? But it's, think of a 3/2. Right? But every one of those 3s is a triplet. Okay? So, just like every other tuplet, the 9 lit takes up 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So we're going to play it on the snare, kind of slower, bring it up, orchestrate it, etc. Okay? Just like the rest. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? Now let's speed it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let's play it in context. 4 bars time, 2 bars something, 2 bars snare. 4 bars time, 2 bars something, 2 bars orchestrated. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's the idea. So, with these additive rhythms, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, okay? Again, limitless possibilities. You can do one number apart, like 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. You can do two numbers apart, like I was saying, 3, 5, 7, or 7, 9, 11. You can do three numbers apart, 3, 6, 3, 6, 9 is, or like, that kind of thing. It depends on where you start, right? You could also do 4, 7, 10. That's quite fun, right? But really just work on counting up how many beats you're taking up, right? 7, 8, 9 is 24 beats, 5, 6, 7 is 18 beats. Think about that and divide it by whatever time you're in. So if you're playing in 5, 4, 3, 4, 9, 8, 2, 4, 4, 4, whatever, right? Just make sure you're doing that part because you want to make sure it lines up in a grid, right? It's not entirely freeform. I would say it is very structured, actually, whatever subdivision you play it in. And you have to be able to count it, and you have to have good time. So treat it with respect and have fun with it. Okay, so let's take a look at Tihais. This is a repeated pattern that is used to mark the end of a phrase or a form or a whole song sometimes in Carnatic music. It could be as simple as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. 2 sets of 3, a set of 2. Very simple rhythmic idea that happens in a lot of music. And that 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That is a very simple Tihai. It's repeating 3 notes, and the last one is a slight variation, 2 notes, to let everybody know, hey, this is the end of the phrase, this is the end of the form, this is the end of the song coming up. And often Tihais are very complicated, complex rhythmic figures with lots of rhythmic syncopation happening, modulation, sometimes tuplets and very strange polyrhythms happening, and frequently with multiple hands playing or multiple vocalists or multiple instruments. But the foundational idea, the core idea that you repeat something 3 times, slight variation on the last one sometimes, to let everybody know, hey, we're moving on, especially in the drummer context, is fascinating because that happens in Black American music all the time. In jazz specifically, songs are tagged to end, right, to let everybody know, hey, we're finishing it up. In the drummer context, when drummers trade or play over the entire form of something, drummers will often repeat the same idea 2 or 3 times to let everybody know, hey, this is beat 1, this is the top of the form, this is the end of my trade, right? And it's fascinating that 2 different hemispheres in the US and in India, the same foundational musical thought occurs. In different contexts, one is often much larger in scope and one is often much smaller in scope, but they both utilize orchestrating different sounds on their percussive instrument and repeating an idea to let everybody know, hey, we're moving on. So let's take a look at some Tihais, repeated ideas, in the style of and used by some great jazz drummers. A great example of a simple Tihai found in the jazz world is from the great Roy Haynes. Roy had this unique vocabulary all to himself as early as 1948, and he coined this specific rhythmic idea called a did-it. That's what he called it, which was 2 highs and 1 low, usually in 8th notes or in triplets, and it sounded like this. And he would just repeat that idea. So he would play these all over the drum set. Right? He also played them as triplets with a stick shot, and this was sort of one of his calling cards, the most well-documented, vocabulary Roy did, playing one stick on the other on top of the head, right? And playing that did-it sound. That's the Roy Haynes sound. So one of the most popular Tihais he does, these tags, is going to be a 2-bar phrase playing triplet eighth note. Da-da-do-da-boo. So it's going to be 2 of those followed by just the triplet. Remember when we were talking about Tihais earlier when we did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, that last one kind of gets cut off to signify, okay, we're coming back around. So this is going to be stick shot, rack tom, stick shot. It'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's a really fun idea. You can play around other toms with it, right? But the idea that you are specifically repeating it like da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da, right? Taki-da-taki, taki-da-taki, taki-da, playing it exactly like a Tihai. Another great Tihai is from the drummer Jimmy Cobb. And Jimmy would play a lot around with singles sometimes on the drum set, or like movements between triplets and his bass drum. And he would play a lot of marking down the downbeats with toms. So this one has a little bit more coordination to it, but it's still pretty doable. And it is, the base idea is triplet, triplet, quarter note. Triplet, triplet, quarter, triplet, triplet, quarter, triplet, triplet, because it cuts off at the end, right? So 3, 3, 2, basically. So this one sounds like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty straightforward, right? Now let's orchestrate it the way Jimmy did. So we're going to be playing the rack tom and the floor tom here. We're going to be throwing in the bass drum in the middle and trying to get everything to sound pretty even. So here we go. We'll play it a little slow and then bring it up to tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now more up to the tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This Tihai is from the drummer Max Roach. And Max was one of the very first melodic bebop drummers and sort of melodic drummers in general who kind of brought the singing of the drums out metaphorically, and he really loved to play with his toms a lot. He played a lot of triplets and singles and kind of these coordinations between them, and this is kind of a standard Max Roach idea that he uses in several albums with Clifford Brown and his own things and with Booker Little, but it's a triplet eighth note just like Roy, but with a pickup. So it's ba-da-da-da-boo, ba-da-da-boo-boo, ba-da-da-da-doo, ataki-da-taki, ataki-da-taki, ataki-da-taki. And he is not playing stick shot. He is just playing everything on one drum at a time. So I'm going to play it on the snare at first, and then we'll orchestrate it pretty quick. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right, pretty straightforward. A lot like Roy's. But this is what makes it different. Check it out. Now I'm going to orchestrate it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This idea of like boom, 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 this kind of melodic phrasing is really what makes Max shine, because his and Roy's are very similar, and truthfully between him, Jimmy, and Max, all three are just using triplets with a stopping point, right? It's the same, you could point all of them to the same basic reduction, but it's the way that they orchestrate things, right? Roy is playing with a bit of space and stick shots, a really unique sound. Jimmy is playing with kind of using the toms as markers. And Max here is playing with the drums as melodic voices. Okay, so now let's bring this up to speed a little bit more. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This next Tihai is very interesting in terms of its rhythm and syncopation, and that's because it's Tony Williams. Tony was very innovative in the jazz world in terms of drumming. He was very intense, very frenetic in his movement and in his playing. He really loved the relationship between his drums and his cymbals, not as separate entities, but as like different timbres to play with, right? And that's really well exemplified in this textbook idea of timbres and syncopation. So the rhythm is not hard on paper. It's eighth notes and a quarter note. 1 and, 3, 4 and, 2, 3 and, 1. Taki, ti, taki, ti, taki, ti. Okay? The difficulty lies in the placement of it. It's kind of like a 3/4, 6/4 kind of thing. And it's a lot to do with the flam hit sounding clean and getting the crash exactly where it needs to be on the ands. So, by itself, not orchestrated, but just the flams on the snare, sounds like this. 1, 2, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Right? Not crazy. Then, play it where the flam starts on the floor tom to the snare, and then hit your right cymbal, or a crash after that. So it sounds like this: 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Very Tony. So now let's take it up to a tempo where he might use this, thinking like a Miles Smiles kind of thing. For our final Tihai, we're going to be looking at the great Elvin Jones. And this one is tricky in concept, but it feels really good once you get into it. And it builds off some of our additive rhythmic ideas. First of all, that little windmill. This kind of like movement that we're doing around the drum set. And it also builds on the 9-lit that we practiced in the additive rhythms as well, right? So, we're going to be playing an orchestrated thing that Elvin does a lot when he's playing with Coltrane and with the Wayne Shorter groups as well, with this kind of like furious windmill effect. So it's going to be... And that leaves us with 2 beats at the end, okay? I'm going to put the hi-hat on all 4 beats while we play this, just to kind of help internalize it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now let's start orchestrating it. So. Right, with a bass drum between each one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Okay, now let's speed it up and put it in context. 1, 2, 3. The last thing we can think about with Tihais is that they are essentially subtractive rhythm. We've been doing a lot with additive rhythm this whole lecture. Subtractive is simply the opposite. Instead of 7/8/9, now it's 9/8/7. Instead of half note, quarter note, eighth note, now it's eighth note, quarter note, half note. So in this context, we're not thinking about Tihais in the way of like long, short. Da da do da do do da. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1. Nothing like that. We are thinking of it in terms of, hey, I'm ending a phrase by shortening the amount of time I have between each idea, right? So the subdivision stays the same. It's all triplets in this example. We're just playing accents with more intensity and frequency. So it's all triplets on the snare with accents on the floor tom. And we're going to go every 8, and then every 4, and then every 2. And this is another way to end a phrase in this way of like tagging without the short aspect. It's not da-da and da-da and da-da ba, right? It's one long idea that we are kind of increasing in intensity, right? We're shortening the accent of it, basically. So I'm going to start with just floor tom, snare drum, right? Right on it, just slow. We're going to play every 8, every 4, and every 2 on this floor tom. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can think about this in terms of Konnakol too, right? So it's in triplet subdivision, so we're going to be speaking the triplet but not using the triplet Konnakol syllables, which would usually be like taki, ta taki, ta taki, ta taki, ta taki, dimi, taki, taki, dimi, taki, ta. That kind of thing. We're going to be using 8, 4, and 2. So taki, dimi, taki, janu, taki, dimi, and just taki. So we're speaking triplets, but the syllable shows even 8, 4, 2, almost like 8th notes or 16th notes, which is really interesting. Creates a really fun, well, brain teaser, but also modulation. We have 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 4, 6 sets of 2. It sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Takadimi, takajano, takadimi, takajano, takadimi, takajano, takadimi, 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 taki, 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 taki. Which really allows you to get these fun ideas playing triplets, but with 4 and 8 notes of like subdivision, getting this kind of 4/3, 6/4 feel. So one final way to really think about subtractive rhythms and Tihais is to take the idea that we had before and change the partial that we start on. The first time we played it, we started on the downbeat. Right? So now let's place it on the third triplet. So taki ta, da ga da da ga da 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 do do da do 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 da, right? We're going to be changing up the rhythm a little bit. Instead of 8, 4, and 2, we're going to be doing 2 sets of 9, 3 sets of 6, and then 4 sets of 3. So it's still down, right? 9, 6, 3, kind of like 8, 4, 2. It's a little different, a little trickier in terms of coordination, but it works out just the same. So we're going to play it slow, and then we'll bring it up to speed. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's many different ways, but 2 different foundational ways to think about ending phrases and ideas with a ton of opportunities to explore around the drum set.